मेरे पास पटौदी ब्लॉक है पूरा, जिसमें कि 4 साइट हैं, बोडाकला, पड़ासोली, बिलासपुर और मौजाबाद। और जब से जो पहले स्टार्टिंग हुआ वो मौजाबाद साइट पर हुआ था। स्टार्टिंग में हमने जब यहाँ के देखा तो पौंड के तरीके से नहीं था, बिल्कुल सब कुछ डैमेज पड़ा था। गाँव वालों ने कूड़ा कचरा और एक्स्ट्रा जो भी किकरे वगैरह होती है वो सब कुछ था यहाँ पे। हमने आके यहाँ देखा, उसके बाद सरपंच से बात की, गांव की सलाह मशवरा किया और उसके बाद काम शुरू हो गया।
25-year-old Vikas Chauhan has been working on the restoration of the Mozabad pond since 2019. He is one of the 10 chosen members from across rural communities of Gurugram in Haryana to be part of a pond restoration project started by the Gurugram-based NGO GuruJal. Formerly a plumber, over the last few years he has been trained in the technical and traditional knowledge needed for the maintenance of revived ponds. Today, he earns 15,000 rupees as stipend for his green service.
तो स्टार्टिंग में हमने डिवोटरिंग कराई पौंड की, फिर डिसल्टिंग कराई और इसको सौंदर्यकरण के लिए करके मनरेगा से लेबर वगैरह लगा के पूरा इसको पौंड बनाया।
Developing a pond in these parts has become imperative. Take this Mozabad pond for instance. With 80% of its water made up of untreated sewage, it had been rendered unusable until recently. As a groundwater-rich resource, ponds have traditionally supported the agrarian ecology of the villages in Haryana. People use them not just for irrigation, but for livestock and other household needs. Most of Haryana's ponds, however, have either dried up or are polluted due to solid waste and sewage contamination. State government records reveal how Gurugram district is left with 120 ponds today from close to 650 back in the 80s. The problem of dying ponds, Shubhi K. Sarvani from GuruJal explains, has been further compounded by Haryana being a water-scarce region. Reports have suggested how more than 3,000 of its 7,000 plus villages continue to be water-stressed.
The idea is that Haryana is a semi-arid region, especially the southern part of Haryana is pretty dry and arid and doesn't receive a lot of rainfall. So, and there's just one river which is crossing from the top of Haryana, that's Yamuna. So, Yamuna's water gets divided and flows via canal to the entire state. So now what are the sources of the water for the local people? It's either groundwater or it's the canal water or the water which is fetched by rain. So these are the sources of water, and typically groundwater, because it's perennially available, that's an easy mechanism.
With groundwater as the main source of water for these parts, recharge mechanisms are crucial. Rejuvenating ponds, therefore, is the first step in this direction. But in these parts of Haryana, it is not as simple. 80% of the sewage from the village households gets drained directly into its ponds, making these waters virtually unusable. And that's where GuruJal's interventions come in. Today we join Vikas from the GuruJal team as he conducts an experiential training at the Mozabad pond site. This team of 5 from neighboring village communities have been chosen for a 2-month fellowship program. They will then go on to join a future force of 50 water warriors, each responsible for the ponds they have revived.
पौंड का तो ये है कि सुबह एक बार ज़रूर देखना पड़ता है, क्योंकि हमें स्क्रीन की सफाई करनी बहुत ज़रूरी है। अगर हम स्क्रीन की सफाई नहीं करेंगे तो हमारा जो WWTP है वो चौक हो जाएगा। जो ऊपर से प्लास्टिक वेस्ट आ रहा है, पन्नी वगैरह आ रही है, वो ब्लॉकेज कर देगी। इसकी वजह से हमें डेली देखना पड़ेगा यहाँ पे। और 6 महीने में हमारा टैंक का और 1 साल के लगभग जो भी पार्टीशन है उनकी साफ़ सफाई बहुत ज़रूरी है, तभी हमारा प्लांट रनिंग पे रहेगा।
22-year-old Deepak, one of the new volunteers, is a qualified lab technician. He tells us how this project is giving him an opportunity to be part of something meaningful while also earning money.
मैम अभी तक तो ये है कि जोड़ को कैसे बनाया जाता है और पानी को बचाना है और पर्यावरण के ऊपर भी बताते हैं इसमें। यही बताया अभी फ़िलहाल 2-3 क्लास हुई है हमारी।
For each of their projects, GuruJal's team uniquely deploys treated wastewater to bring up the water table. Wastewater that would otherwise go unchecked into the ponds.
So we are using the perennial source of water, which is the wastewater, at the decentralized level, treating it and putting it back into the pond so that it's naturally recharged and goes into the aquifer, which is a natural tank, and then it can be reused for the rest of the year. So if you recharge a pond here, you can see the influence of this particular pond in the 20 kilometers of periphery, which is a common watershed area.
Using nature-based solutions instead of conventional sewage treatment plants, the technology here follows a constructed wetland system that needs no power to run, a boon for villages that face major power outages. The sewage from drains now gets treated through vegetation, soil and natural organisms.
So initially the water is coming from the inlet chamber, then it will first go down to the screen chamber. Then we have the equalization tank. From equalization tank we have a baffle wall where anaerobic condition prevails. Then we have the filter bed where the water is flow from sinusoidal manner and go to the outlet of the pond. So if you see, we have planted the Kana, Taifa and vetiver grasses over there. So the main motive about this is to remove the BOD, COD and improve the PS, TDS, and the nutrient removal from these plants is happening in this water treatment plant.
The pH results at Mozabad show that the pond system has been performing well and that its quality is good enough to be used for agricultural fields and for groundwater recharge, a game changer for the people here. In 2019, the groundwater table in the village was as low as 46 meters. Now, the live monitoring instruments show that it has risen to 34 meters. Sher Singh Saini, a landlord farmer from the region, is a happy man today. The availability of more water means his 2.5 acres of Bajra farm has enough water even during power outages.
काफ़ी फ़ायदा है जोड़ का। अभी 2019 में आपने प्रोजेक्ट लगाया, जो वाटर जो है ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट बनाया, उससे हमें काफ़ी फ़ायदा मिला है। तो वो जो गंदगी है वो एक वहाँ पर ही जमा हो जाती है और उसके बाद में जो फिल्टर होके पानी आता है ना मैम, वो जो है ज़मीन में जो है ना, उसकी वजह से वाटर लेवल ऊपर हुआ है और वो पानी भी मीठा हो गया है। और किसानों के लिए मैम जो जैसे 8-10 घंटा लाइट आती है, कभी कभी लाइट नहीं आती, तो उसके अंदर से सिंचाई कर लेते हैं, उससे काफ़ी फ़ायदा मिलता है।
50 kilometers from Mozabad, the village of Bonsi is facing problems of not just groundwater depletion but also water salinity. This 2-acre pond in the heart of this densely populated village has sewage water trickling in from every household. These trenches have high levels of BOD or biochemical oxygen demand, which essentially means poor water quality. For 27-year-old Akash Raghav, a resident of Bonsi, it is a struggle to get access to clean water. While he buys water cans for consumption purposes, for everything else like washing, cleaning and bathing, he has no choice but to use contaminated water.
जी हमारे पास पानी का एक ही रिसोर्स है और जो मेन रिसोर्स है उसी से पानी आता है और उसका भी कोई टाइम फिक्स नहीं रहता। कई बार सप्लाई की मोटर फूक जाती है, 5 से 7 दिन पानी नहीं आता है, तो इसलिए हम पानी को स्टोर करके रखते हैं। आप देख सकते हैं कि इसमें भी है ना जो गंद पार्टिकल होते हैं वो आप ऊपर भी फोटोज में क्लियर आ जाएगा आपका।
The only source of water for the entire village here are these 2 tube wells installed right next to the pond. In the summer months, when the groundwater is scanty, these tube wells end up pumping contaminated water.
So currently this pond is around 2 acres of its size. It has a huge water capacity. The water depth is around 4 to 5 meters above. Like pond holding capacity is quite a lot. Around 1.5 million liters of water from the local community is entering this particular pond. But still the groundwater level is around 46 meters. So it's shockingly deep here. And there's a lot of solid waste dumping, there's a lot of algal growth. I cannot see a lot of fishes. That means the pond ecosystem is not viable enough to support fishes anymore.
The permanent residents of Bonsi want a cleaner pond that will help them gain access to clean water. For this particular village, GuruJal has proposed its organic cleaning technology with some variation because of the space constraints and the type of contamination. They also plan to tackle solid waste dumping with the help of the municipal corporation. The outfit is hoping to bring up the water level to 100 feet from its current levels of 130.
The idea that we have at the moment is to set up a decentralized wastewater treatment plant using a nature-based technology which would treat all the 80% of the community's wastewater which is coming into this pond and then put it back here so that it allows much more percolation. Right now there's probably very minimal percolation that is happening. Nature-based technologies actually take a lot of space, but we'll go vertical in this case and slightly hybrid. So we'll figure out how to do that. So that's another challenge apart from, and it's because it is very dense population, so engaging with the community will take much more resources and time.
In April 2022, the Indian government launched Mission Amrit Sarovar, a national mission that aims at creating or rejuvenating at least 75 water bodies across Indian districts to overcome water crisis in the country's heartlands. In Haryana, GuruJal has so far managed to revive almost 20 ponds while providing technical support to the government to rejuvenate another 80.
के बारे में पता लगने के बाद मैंने काफ़ी लोगों को जागरूक किया कि जल है तो कल है, क्योंकि अगर पानी अब नहीं रहेगा तो आने वाली पीढ़ी को कैसे क्या मिलेगा। अगर हम एक गिलास भी निकाल रहे हैं, अगर हम उसको वापस आधे गिलास को छोड़ रहे हैं तो आने वाली पीढ़ी में उनको ज़रूरत पड़ेगी पानी की, तो काम आ सके।
Thanks for watching Eco India. If you like the story, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Scroll.in on YouTube.